Okay, now let's go into something more in-depth. Okay, first thing first, we learn about acid and alkalis. Now, we know that acid have pH less than 7, alkali have pH greater than 7. What happens when you mix them together? You actually have this thing called neutralize. So when you mix them together, they neutralize each other. We term it as a neutralization reaction. Reaction, neutralization. So example is hydrochloric acid, sodium hydroxide. This fella here is an acid, this fella here is an alkali. You mix them together, what happens? Neutralization. So what is actually the product of neutralization? You actually get salt and water. Okay, the product of neutralization is salt and water. But what is the salt produced? Okay, so whenever there's a reaction of acid and alkali, salts are normally produced. There are three types of salts that you'll encounter. First, we call them the chloride salt. So example, sodium chloride. It will end with the word chloride. So when is the sodium salt generally produced? It's when you have reaction with hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid react with substances, it will produce a chloride salt. Next one, what is the other type of salt? We have the sulfate salt. So it's formed when reaction reacts with sulfuric acid. How do we know is that whether it's a sulfate salt? You can see the name here will end with a sulfate. So sulfuric acid produces a sulfate salt. And the last one, we have our nitrate salt. It's generally formed when reaction occurs using nitric acid. So nitric acid produces nitrate salt. How do you know it's a nitrate salt? The name ends off with a nitrate. How do you know it's a sulfate salt? The name ends off with a sulfate. How do you know it's a chloride salt? The name ends off with chloride. So these are the three types of salts. Okay, so now we know what the salts produce. We can go into the chapter now. Okay, let's go a little bit more in depth, even more in depth now. Properties of acid. Okay, properties of acid.